The president gave you a preview of what you could expect later on today. As we wait for that meeting and maybe that announcement on the steel and aluminum tariffs, the market is down only 38 points right now in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Everybody in Wall Street and elsewhere trying to figure out what to make of all this. And there's plenty of pushback to it, the tariffs that is, from members of Congress, many of them coming from the president's own party. And we've heard from a number of those members of Congress throughout the week. The latest to join us, North Dakota Republican Senator John Hoeven. Senator, good to see you. Thank you very much for coming on. People who represent farm-related or farming states like yours do have concerns, and we understand those concerns. Any alleviated by the president and his comments today? He's talking about exemptions, for example, to some of these tariffs, Canada, Mexico. He mentioned Australia and, quote, other countries.
Well, that's what we have to see. Clearly we're concerned about our ability to trade. We have to be able to export our ag products. We have a huge surplus in ag exports, very good for our country. And the other concern, of course, is that a lot of times if there is retaliatory action, the first candidate is the ag product. So we have to be very careful, very targeted, very strategic in whatever's done. We understand what he's trying to do with steel and aluminum, but we want to make sure it's done in a productive way that does not impact ag, energy, and our other industry sectors.
Yeah, I was thinking, if the president, just so people understand it, hits hits everybody. Maybe there'll be some exemptions, but he hits them on steel and aluminum. You're really concerned that, say, Europe comes back. They've been talking about maybe hitting some products that come out of your state, right?
Yeah, for example, China takes about 1/3 of all the soybeans produced in the United States, 70% from my state of North Dakota, which is a huge producer. So China's a very important market. Now, at the same time, they've got to be, a fair trader. So we understand that, we have to force them to work with us on a fair basis. But that's where we have to be strategic and targeted in how we do this and work with our other countries, our fellow countries, to put the right kind of pressure on China, not do something that would cause retaliatory tariffs.
Can I ask you that what should we do question then, as especially as it relates to China? Because the next thing that is supposedly coming down the pipe is some sort of action directly against China as it relates to intellectual property, which is a much bigger deal, just dollars-wise. Are you supportive of that, or?
That's a legitimate concern. Absolutely. Again, we want free trade. We want fair trade. So I understand we have to engage and make people treat us fairly. So I get that. Intellectual property is a good example of where we have work to do. But look, we can get together with other countries, other trading partners, and say, look, China, you're dumping steel globally. It's not just an issue for the United States. It's an issue for a lot of other countries. And so we need to work together to put pressure on China in the right way.
What about the national security argument? Because, I've heard it twice. I heard it from a member of Congress last hour, a former steel executive, who said, and I tried to challenge him on it, but they said, no, this is legit. This is a legit national security concern. Do you think it is?
Well, I think that's kind of a tough argument in that, we produce import a very small part of our steel from China. So I think that's a tough argument. I think actually we should be looking under 201, the anti-dumping, countervailing duties, and working with the other countries, with our allies, like I described.
All right, Senator, as a big picture kind of summary of all this, what about the politics? Are you and others concerned in your party that this could be something that has a negative effect on Republicans in the midterms?
Well, we're trying to work with the administration. We'll see what happens here at 3:30. We're engaged in that dialogue with the White House. I've already talked to the Ag Secretary about it. Matter of fact, he's coming out to my state tomorrow. He'll be in North Dakota all day tomorrow. He'll hear from our producers. So we're trying to work with the administration to see what we can do. Again, we want free trade and fair trade. And so we just need to work strategically to do both.
Would you support any kind of a change in the law where Congress has more power like it used to have years ago in writing some of these restrictions or talking about these tariffs?
So that is part of the discussion. The discussion is both how do we work with the administration, and then is there something we should be doing legislatively as well?
So you could see yourself supporting that?
Well, we'll see. Again, it depends what it is.
Okay. Senator, thanks. Good to see you. Thank you very much.